Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the panel this evening as the one and only Bridgeman and my good friend Fox. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good evening, Bridge. Good evening, Ox. Good evening, everybody that's listening.
Can I say a big good evening to you guys in the panel here? And to a big good evening to the guys in the lobby and to all the Rangers fans all over the world listening in. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Bridge?
I'm excellent, pal, thank you. Excellent. I'm just starting to recover from coming back from my holiday. I think I have jet lag coming back.
Jet lag? Jet lag?
That's what I'm saying. I'm
it's
so tired.
Coach.
I know. Oh, dear. Nah, it's really good. And doing well, pal, thanks.
And what about your good self, Fox? How's your hectic social calendar doing, mate?
Same as it was yesterday, same as it was the day before that, and the weekend before that.
Oh.
Absolutely buzzing it is, mate.
He's full of festive cheer, isn't he, Bridge?
It's a nightmare, that man. An absolute nightmare.
I get kind of depressed when you see the dark nights coming in, mate. I used to look forward to them. Now it's no, I don't like them so much. It's getting colder as it does me as well.
It's getting colder, right?
It's getting colder, all right. Absolutely.
Getting colder. You'll need to wrap up well, Fox. Maybe you'll need to wear 4 layers on Saturday.
I need to find myself a new hat. I'm going to buy a hat. I don't know what kind.
Get one of these big woolly ones with the big pom-poms. I think that
I've got one of them. I've got one of them somewhere.
I don't start up, for God's sake. Oh, brilliant.
Well, yeah, but I think he'd quite suit one of them, Bridge, wouldn't he?
I think you should go for a fedora or something like that, you know. Something that makes him stand out and be a bit more gentlemanly. It's quite a stand-up type of chap, you know. Sometimes
I think one of the big camels with a big pom-pom, so he's looking even more stupid than he looks already.
I've always fancied one of the pork pie hats, but I've never seen one in the shops.
You could be a real man about town with a pork pie hat on, couldn't you?
Aye.
What a man. City Cash Tailors, Foxy. City Cash Tailors will get a good deal.
Don't be bringing City Cash Tailors up. I know what that means. Skipper's twigged already and talking about my safari jacket, you know.
There you go.
Talking about that, Bridge, I've had a few PMs, mate. There's a lot of people interested, so what I'm suggesting is anybody who wants a fridge magnet, contact you, alright?
Skipper's been into my body already tonight, wasn't it? Brilliant.
Alright, so a couple of games, a couple of sleeps, as Bridge would say, to the game. We're getting there. No news for the club yet. A lot of things bubbling about. A wee rumour that Morelos might have picked up a knock. Don't know if he was picked up on that. He wasn't seen at training, but I don't know if it was just the photographs or he's just been getting an extended rest. But Morelos wasn't playing. The obvious choice, I would suppose, if we'd be laughing it through the middle.
I think so.
Aye?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Simple as that for you as well, Fox?
Aye, simple for me. And that's what he's there for, his Alfie's stand-in, mate. And I think Morelos gets an extra day because of the travelling that he has when he goes on international duty. I don't think it's anything to worry about, you know.
No, I think you might be right there, but we'll just wait and see. But obviously, if anything was to happen, that's the plan. You've got an internationalist ready to slot into his position, Bridge.
Yeah, I think it's as Foxy said there will be a sort of a time delay for some of the players getting back in good time or in decent time. So I wouldn't be worried too much about it. However, I have seen, just what you mentioned there a minute ago, I have seen in the Follow forum, for instance, that they were saying our boys have been asking the question: has Morelos had a wee knock or is he injured? So they haven't seen anything. I never picked up on anyone answering any of these questions.
I think Fox could be right.
It's probably timing. It's probably just timing. I know we had the manager's interview. You heard that last night, and they never mentioned anything about Morelos being injured or anything. So unless he's got to wait till he comes back before he can find out. And I don't know whether he came back today or maybe he's due back tomorrow. But tomorrow's a bit late. If you thought, I mean, Thursday and then there's no training at all, is there? Just a couple of laps at the training ground, and that's him.
Don't think we'll be doing a lot of training now, will we?
I'm saying that'll be very, very little training, and if he arrives, then there's a good chance that how can we say it? All he would be was a wee jog, just for a wee jog. Cause they must be, shall we say, as fit as a butcher's at the moment, you know. And it's just to keep it all rolling. Played a lot of games. Admittedly, they have 2 weeks off. Of course, was he playing? Was Morelos actually playing? Did he get a game?
Don't know if he did, mate. I've been following it.
Right.
I'm not dead sure.
I'm sure I read something. He was going back for his birthday or something like that. Back home for his birthday, something like that. You know.
I don't think he was in the Colombian squad, Fox.
I'm not sure either, but he definitely flew to Ibrox after the last game. So maybe he's away home, taking advantage of the couple of days off that he's got. Maybe
I think it was a birthday.
Home.
Was it his birthday just recently? His 22nd birthday.
Could be right, Bridgeman.
I think it was really something like that. Anyway, we don't worry too much. Don't worry too much about it. I hope he's not injured. I hope he comes back and he plays. Big game on Thursday as well, you know, so we've got lots to look forward to, and that's the truth.
I think if he was injured, that news would have come out. I mean, and if he wasn't...
I'm sure with your Colombian contacts you could find out, Fox.
Well, he'd need to get injured at his birthday party then, eh?
Well, I don't know if it was a birthday party or whether, in fact, it was a belated going home to speak to his mother or something, and had his birthday. I'm sure I read something. It was his 22nd birthday, and he was going home during the international break to see the folks and celebrate a wee bit. That's all I heard. Whether it happened or not, I don't know.
How good is Morelos for you, Fox?
Oh, he's improved even again this season for me. I think he's holding up with the ball, and his layoffs are 10 times better than they were last year. I think his all-round game's improved. I don't know if that's just all down to Steven Gerrard and the coaching side, or maybe the wee extra bit of training that he got with Colombia when he was over there playing with really top-class players as well, has improved his game. But he's looking better this season than he has at any other time since he came to Ibrox for me.
Before I take that question to you, Bridgeman, can I just give a shout out to two of my favourite Bearettes, Darcy and Paige, who are listening for the first time tonight. How we doing, girls? On you go, Bridgeman.
Tell us more.
My mate's daughters, you behave.
Right, so where are they from, Oxford?
God's country, mate. You carry on. How good is Morelos for you?
For me, he's superb this season. He's holding the ball when not trying to strike. You know, when the ball's played to him, he's really good at holding it up and bringing people in. And a lot of the times he's basically just in the opposition half when he gets it, and he holds it up and he pushes it either wide or just slightly back to him, and then he turns and he runs, and that's that blind run. He's very good at it, and he takes men in, pulls them into him, leaves a space for people to go into. I think he's had a hand in an enormous amount of goals, great assists, and he's scoring well. He's scored, is it 14 or 15 now? Something like that. Tremendous stuff anyway, you know. He's really good. So I think he's an improvement on him. And also I've noticed his behaviour. He's not so, shall we say, he doesn't go into any throw tantrums or anything like that. I'm not saying he doesn't get booked, but he doesn't throw the tantrums like he was doing. He doesn't go into any strops. And I think he's now realising a lot of these guys are just trying to dig him up a wee bit and wind him, you know. And he's not falling for it. Or he's not falling for it the same way he was before. So hopefully that continues, because he will be... I don't know what you think, but I think he's one of the best players in Scotland at the moment. You know,
he's up there. Obviously, you've got James Forrest, who's on a different planet altogether.
I know.
But for me, I would like to see him play more just between the 18-yard box. I don't want to see him out the wings, mate. I want to see him concentrating and playing in top teams and score goals. Fox?
He does come deep for the ball and he moves a lot a bit more this season, but that opens up. The defence are not on top of him all the time, and he's quick once he lays the ball off Fox to get himself into the box. I think he's improved an awful lot this year. I can't remember, is it 12 goals he scored so far this season? Never mind assists. He's playing very, very well.
Player of the season so far for us? Would it be him and McGregor? Would that be our two consistent players, Bridgman?
I think McGregor's at number one for me. I think he's been absolutely outstanding for us and proved his worth time and again. So I right at this moment, I couldn't see anyone going past him from a player of the season up to now. But most assuredly, Morelos he's the fans' favourite, isn't he? He's a big favourite of the fans, and he's doing really, really well. And he deserves all the accolades he gets, to be honest. Obviously, we're saying these things about some of our players as if they're world beaters. We know they're no world beaters, but the truth of the matter is they're starting to build a hope. It continues a wee bit momentum we've started, and that continues. Wonderful performances in Europe to add into some mediocre stuff in the league, and sometimes downright rotten. But when we play well, particularly at Ibrox, then we really played well the last game. And the last couple of games we've played really well at Ibrox. So all of that coming on, that's building something, a wee bit of fortress mentality, won't do us any harm. And then we take it from there. Well, not the finished article yet anyway, that's for sure.
All right, if people want to join us, maybe give us their thoughts on Alfredo or anything Rangers related. What's the number, Bridge?
The number's 01413561972.
And you can join us at Skype at rangersradio.online, where Fox will bring in the call. And what can I talk about, Fox?
Anything to do with Celtic, and only Rangers comments on this show.
All right, okay. I think you're having a dig at you there, Bridge.
Did I hear somebody mention Celtic?
Your team.
My team,
Can I just say on the Morelos thing as well, do you think the way his relationships developed with the fans is helping him?
Yes,
at the club as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with you, Fox. And that's what I was just saying there. He's got a lot of the fans, if not all the fans, absolutely love him now, and he's brilliant. And it's that, you're right, it's that bit of relationship there that I think he holds his pose a bit better than he did in the previous season, where he would fly off the handle and things like that. The fans just love him, and they've got him up there and they sing him, and he sings along with his own song, Alfredo. Great.
One of his best goals for me was one that was chopped off.
Absolutely, and I have to admit that was a great team goal. It was just wonderful to see maybe 3 or 4 passes and the ball was across and it popped in the net. I immediately thought that the referee made a big mistake in calling it offside, and eventually I wasn't too sure, and then I saw it, and after the match I saw the sort of straight line, and he wasn't offside at all. So a bit of robbery going on there.
It wasn't close. It wasn't even close, Bridge.
I'm saying about a yard, roughly about a yard, I would say.
And it was a good finish. Look, the boys get improvement. He's very young. Is he just a lone striker, Fox, or could you see him playing in a 2? Well, Bridge?
Me? I thought you were speaking to Fox. I do apologise.
He rubbered me.
Robert, okay. No, I don't care, to be honest. I think the way he's playing now, because he brings people into the game, he looks for the pass, which he didn't do before. He was just interested in scoring, and I think he could work quite well. I'm not dead sure whether Lafferty's the answer to it, but most assuredly he can play beside people. He brings people in, he's setting people up for goals and all that. So him and Lafferty just might knock it off together. And if that happens, well, look forward to some fireworks for sure.
You worry me. I was somebody going to send the emergency response services round there when you didn't answer.
I was having a drink of Coke there when you were.
What was in it?
As long as a drink of Coke, that's all right, mate.
Well, no yet, Bridge. It's early yet.
It's a bit early.
Right, on you go, answer the question.
I think it could work with Lafferty if he was in Morelos was in the number 10 role, mate, and arriving late in the box, because his hold-up play is that good. And I think he would be, instead of just laying it off to the two wide men, which he does quite a lot, I'm just wondering how he would go on if he turned and looked for another striker in front of him, rather than him being the focal point at the front. Maybe him playing behind another striker would work in a two with him, because he would always be there to do the job he's doing the new, only he would have a striker beyond him, if you know what I mean. When we've played Lafferty's played in the wing. It's a 4-3-3 we play. I don't know how we could change the system to get the two strikers, and it hasn't worked in the past so far. So I don't see Steven Gerrard changing for the 4-3-3 anytime soon, mate. Do you?
You know, Lafferty plays quite well running onto the ball rather than being the target man. You know, most of the time when he scores a lot of goals by running in, so maybe from 20 yards out, he can sort of join the play there and have shots at goal and do what he wants. Admittedly, when we played Motherwell at their bit, he scored 2 goals from close in, so that's sometimes it doesn't ring true. But I think he's very, very good, and that's where Morelos playing further up may in fact bring him into the game. I think that's all I was trying to say. I think could. Sorry,
I'm just going to say Morelos did start his football career as a midfielder. He wasn't always a striker, Bridge. I mean, that was something that came about, which happens to a lot of players in football. But I mean, we've always been going on here about a number 10.
Bridge, mate. He was a substitute and became a centre half.
Aye, well, I
But anyway. you know, I mean, if you think about it, Morelos he's only a young lad, so he's only got maybe 6-7 years max playing at a half decent level of football and making his way through. So young lads, as they're getting through to these up to the sort of higher level of football, they will play in many positions for their manager. They'll step in and help him out in this position, help him out, and that just might be a subterfuge just to see how good he is. And I know he was playing centre forward over in Helsinki, wasn't he? He was a striker over there. So he came to Rangers as a striker, and we're seeing now, we've been seeing the way he can play. He can go in, come back away for the striker role, pick up the ball, bring people in, and as I say, turn and head back up the park again. And he does it very, very well. And that's a stand-up, like a number 10, as some people call it, you know, or the dummy striker, or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes he can do it, and he does it very well. So yeah, there's a bit of midfield in him for sure.
I'm interested to see if he can get that 10% improvement in his game and take him to just a new level. I think there's potential there, but only time will tell, Fox.
Will do. But as long as he's at Ibrox under Steven Gerrard, he'll probably remain the lone striker.
Right.
But there's no doubt about it. Sorry, pal.
No, you go, mate.
No, I was just going to say that there's no doubting it. He's absolutely relishing the position and the adulation he's getting for most strikers get if they start putting the ball in the net, making things happen around about the box, showing little fear, and he's in there and he's not just tapping the ball in. Some of his goals he's smashing them in, and basically unstoppable shots, which we like to see, you know. So.
You and the layups.
A pair of centre halves. Did you like to play against them?
No, too strong.
Rich?
What was that question, Oxtail? What was the question again?
Would you like to play against Morelos?
Oh God, no. I think I would rather play against Lafferty.
Me too.
It's simply because he's a good idea what he's going to do when he comes up against you. Morelos, you probably wouldn't. He's a very tough wee guy by the look of him. size-wise, you would think, I'll get him, no bother. But truth of the matter is, he's very quick and he's uses his body very well. I think Lafferty's more of your traditional 6 feet, whatever it be, 6'4". All you need to do is you need to be able to beat him one way or another. Either beat him in the ground or beat him in the air in some way or other. Because other than that, he'll just run over the top of you. He's a very good player, Lafferty. A very tough player, you know. So he's a big challenge. I think that I wouldn't like to play against Morelos, not for a minute, if I could get away with it. Don't get me wrong, look, I would relish playing against people like that, but I'm not going to beat them nowhere near it. I wouldn't beat them anywhere near as much as I'd take a ball off Lafferty, beat him for pace, beat him for this and beat him for that. But Morelos has got pace, he's got trickery, and he loves to shoot, you know, so he's got quite a lot. He's a big handful for people.
All right, yeah. And interesting, as I said, if people want to join us and give their thoughts, what's the number, Fox?
0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us, Bridgeman?
They can join us in Skype at rangersradio.online, and Foxy will bring them in and look after them.
Yeah. The Jigsaw, as we're club at the moment, obviously Stephen Gerrard, he's always mentioning the support network, the backroom staff, and the whole club. A name that's came to the fore, I would say maybe in the last 6 months more, is Mark Allen, Fox, and he's got a role to play at the club there. Really important role.
Well, he's behind most of the changes. We're seeing it. Both Ibrox and Okinawa. I think between him and Stephen Gerrard, they've picked a good backroom team. They've came from an experienced club who ran their club very well, and we needed to rebuild all our backroom staff. And I think he and Stephen Gerrard have put together a great team in the background. And he's working hard on improving the youth system as well. So plenty to look forward to come from Mark Allen. And that's apart from the signings that he's helped bring in.
It's a role, and it's a modern football role, Bridgeman. What's your thoughts on it? Director of football, whatever.
Well, you know that. Well, how can I say this? It's a long time since I knew about what a director of football started out knowing what a director of football was, and Rangers have never really been involved with any of these things, to my knowledge. There may have been someone doing the role, but the chap, Mark Allen, appears to be doing a tremendous job at Ibrox, and he's in major discussions with the powers that be from the board level down to the manager, and it seems to be successful. I'm not saying he'd mind us by any stretch of the imagination, but he's getting, or he has gotten, whatever he's asked for, and he's told the club and board level, we need to go in this direction. And of course, that's linking in with Stephen Gerrard. It sounds to be very successful. We just need to prove that on the park, that it's very successful. We are a good run, a bit of consistency. All the things that we've said we want and fans want in our club. So from a board level, they're doing well, and they're not getting interfered with by anybody below, because Mark Allen's a man in between.
Nobody gets interfered with at our club, mate.
Well, you know what I mean. And from
carry on, Fox.
Well, I think it's a role that's evolved the way football's moved forward. It's merely a worldwide game where we used to look for players that were doing well in the Scottish leagues, and then we spread our wings into England. And now the scouting system has got to take in practically the whole world, mate. They're looking at players from America, South America, and all over Europe. The strains on the manager in the modern game are completely different as well. There's that much with TV interviews and doing interviews all the time. And Stevie G is a hands-on manager who likes to be on the training park as well. You heard him say in his interview last night that he's constantly watching games to study players. He was watching the international games there during the break. So the manager has got a role that is very time consuming, if that's the right phrase, and the director of football takes a wee bit of burden off him in contract negotiations, etc. So it's a role that's probably here to stay, and we've been quite modern in appointing a director of football, and I think it's shown its benefits already.
Alright, so he done a sort of wee bit of question and answer thing on Twitter. I know you're not on Twitter, Bridgeman.
Nor me.
No, me neither. But he won his top three things that happened at number one, Bridge. You were there the day we brought in Steven Gerrard, and I think he had a big hand to play in that.
Yeah, if he had as big a hand as I think he had, you know, it's been what an amazing occurrence for our club. What an amazing turnaround. It's just brilliant. It's really great thought process and brilliant by the board to back him and back his thoughts. So I can't take anything away from them. I think it's just fantastic. And obviously the proof's in the pudding when we start winning, and I say this in all honesty, when we start winning serious games against that mob across the city and start winning shall we say, cups and league championships and things like that. It'll just be fabulous. It'll be icing on the cake. We're heading that way. I feel that anyway. So obviously we don't want to be disappointed in any way. I just think it's a great. It's been brilliant, but I think the guy's been very good for us. I must admit, when he first came in, a lot of folk, myself included, had their doubts because obviously you're a wee bit fear factor is in who we bringing in and why. And we brought him in after we got the manager. I think the last manager, Cashin, I think he came in after that, didn't he? So there's a wee bit of controversy somewhere along the line, but it's worked out really well. Hats off to him for sure. Hats off to him for sure.
Aye, that was a big moment for our club, wasn't it, Fox?
It was a big gamble for our club, as well as being a big moment. When you look at the other boys, it's our worldwide names, and Thierry Henry's having a bit of a struggle at Marseille. Is it Marseille he's at? I don't think he's won a game. Monaco, that's who it is. I don't think he's won a game yet. Frank Lampard is doing reasonably well in the Championship. But I think he started, I know people might not like me saying, but I think he started at the right level. Scottish football's a wee bit under the level the other two are operating in, and it gives him a bit of time. And like Thierry Henry might not get that time because he stepped in to a harder league, probably. And we'll just have to wait and see. Everything looks good at the moment, but come the end of the season, that's when he'll get judged, I think, by the support. But
carry on, Fox. No, carry on, mate. Sorry, mate.
No, I was just going. I forgot what I was going to say. On you go.
That's that Alzheimer's, mate. He's getting baited him. But he keeps forgetting. No, I think you're right, Fox. He'll be judged at the end of the season, and hopefully he'll be rewarded with some silverware.
Hopefully.
Right.
Scottish Cup would be nice.
55 would be even better. Anyway, we've been joined by Big Ulster. Evening, big man.
Evening, how are you?
How's your good self?
Doing very well, mate, thank you. I was just watching a wee goal here from Greg Doherty, a crack an hour, and he's finished. Playing well down there.
Who were they playing against non-league? Was it non-league?
I'm not too sure who they're playing. I just seen it just as I've phoned in there.
It's on BT, I've seen that.
He has the ball out wide in the right and just uses his strength, gets in and narrow angle and smashes it right past the keeper. Cracking goal. But anyway, back onto this.
He's got some life, isn't he? On the radio, watch the football. Nobody would know he's got 3 bits away, would they?
Yeah, shocker, the boy. Shocker. How you doing, Ulster, by the way?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited for Saturday now.
Oh, you coming there this weekend?
Yes.
Oh, put me down for a draw.
I've been waiting all week for this fridge magnet. Can't wait.
Fridge magnet, beat it.
The first 12 people at the bistro get a fridge magnet on Saturday.
I'll tell you what, I've been a doing after Skipper 3 times now tonight. He's giving me a doing. Wow.
Ulster, do you know the kick-off's 12:30 now?
What?
Don't listen to him, Ulster.
Don't start. Don't start, mate. Don't start.
Don't you bite, Alfredo. Don't you bite.
Or we'll get all our drinking time. We need drinking time, don't we, for the game.
Where are you going to be drinking, Ulster?
I'll normally go to the wee Blue Star Club. I like that wee club.
Uh-huh.
They look after us. Always have, so we look after them too.
I don't drink anymore. Finished with it.
Aye, right. Aye.
I've said that myself a few times.
Uh-huh.
Finished with it. Every time I get with that fox, I end up the hill estate.
I think when Fox is out with you, he ends up in the hell of a state. It's probably more like it. Poor guy never recovers.
I get to blame a lot of things I don't do.
I know that, but I know that. It's no fair saying that. But it's true. I'm not saying anything.
That's true.
I'm not saying anything.
But Ulster, just quickly, what's your view on Morelos, mate? We talked briefly at the start of the show. How good can he be and how good is he for you?
I think he can be. He could be a real top quality player. I think he started the season. I was panicking a wee bit because obviously the end of last season when things just working well for him weren't working out. Just couldn't get himself a goal. And then coming to the start of the season and pre-season, it wasn't. He was missing a few chances. But then he's really kicked on for me since then. Well, whatever obviously the management staff's been doing with him has been working for him. I think he's a real handful, you know. The only thing of it, you know, is his temperament. Sometimes I think he's easily riled up, and sometimes he can be out of the game for a while, you know, because of frustration. And instead of believing in himself a wee bit more, you know, instead of a wee bit like Ali McCoy should have said years gone by, you know, instead of getting suckered into people's tactics trying to, you know, frustrate you, just believe in yourself a wee bit that you'll, you know, I'm going to get the next chance or I'm going to get the next goal, you know, instead of biting back, take your chance. And that's the worst way you can punish your opposition is by scoring goals with them. But I think he's still very, very young. You know, I think he's only coming 22, so he's still young as, you know, when it comes to footballer and experience. So that'll come. But I think he has all the ability, has all the attributes to be a top player. You know, I just think he needs, if he can get that goal, be them lot when we play them, because I think that's one tick that he hasn't, you know, when we mark it, he hasn't ticked off yet. And I think once he does that, that'll really push him on as a Rangers player. But he's definitely bags of potential to get even better than what he is.
I think that's a great point you make there, mate. Once he gets that monkey off his back, a big goal, big game winner.
I think that's
semi-final, final, you know, all firm game. It takes your game to a new level. Huh?
I'd like to see him as well. You know, I know he's a box player, and he's a danger man. He always gets himself into great positions, and he's been creating a lot of chances as well this season, which he didn't really have last season. You know, we bit greedy at times, obviously trying to get goals, but this season you've noticed him playing other players into play a wee bit, which has worked well. I just love to see him sometimes maybe outside the box if he can get himself in that position, especially in games where, you know, things aren't going right for us, and, you know, let's say it's an away game. I'd like to maybe see him maybe drift outside the box and have a crack from outside goal. You know, let's see what he's like. I don't know how many goals he scored from outside the box for us. That would be an interesting stat. I don't know if it'll be too many, but I'd like to see him maybe drift out a wee bit and, you know, just to change it up. Because sometimes, obviously, the defence flood the box, and it can be frustrating for us to get chances. So maybe if he just drifted a wee bit back and had a few cracks at goals, I'd like to see that. But apart from that, I can't really complain. I think he's been very, very good.
All right, mate. Fair comment. But then we began talking about Mark Callan, and he done a wee bit on Twitter. I know you're a big Twitter man, big man. Did you follow that yesterday, Mark? Did you follow that yesterday? Mark Callan?
I didn't get... Well, I've read wee bits and parts. I haven't got to hear the whole thing, to be honest, actually. But
he was saying that the big thing was bringing Stevie G in, but the second big thing was the night we got that result in, let me get this right, UFA, yeah? That was a 9-men win. That was fabulous performance, but obviously that helped take us to a new level as well, didn't it?
Oh, 100%. That was when the big questions were asked of us as a team, not just, can you do it, Rangers? There's 9, you've 9 men now, and you have to try and defend, and every man done it. I think Big Lafferty as well came back, he was in the box as well, so the whole team, the 9 men that were left in the pitch, done a solid job. And I think that's the first time we actually looked at our side in a few seasons, and you actually seen a team, together, defending together, and they got us over the line. That was a big ask from our team, and they done the job. So he's probably right there. That was maybe a corner turn for us.
Yeah, it was a special night, Bridget.
That was a tremendous night, a fabulous night, and again those crazy feelings. I can't remember the last time we get put down to 9 men. Did we no beat St Mirren in the Scottish Cup or something like that? The League Cup final at Hampden, and then before that it was against them. Was that at Hampden as well? So when you go down to 9 men, it just does something to you, And that we hung into the game. Just a fabulous result. Great night for the Rangers. 100% great night for the Rangers. One of the best for sure. Whoops.
I can only remember us going to do to 9 men 4 times, mate.
So who was it? Who was the 4
twice
times?
against Celtic.
When was the second?
One in the 88. I think 87, when Butcher and Woods get sent off, yeah. And then before that, a few.
That's the one I'm talking about, right? I can't remember what was the other one?
One before that at Parkhead, we lost 2 players, and I think Durant scored an equaliser for us with 9 men.
Ah, that's right enough. I do remember it now.
It's
funny how things beat your mind.
And then obviously the League Cup final when Kenny Miller scored. He's one of my all-time favourites.
Aye.
And then obviously that one in Ufa, which was a great result. I mean, they weren't a top team, but it was still a great performance.
Oh, my goodness gracious. What a fabulous performance by us. Just fabulous, But remember, it was in Europe. It was, a completely different atmosphere. You're away from home. All these things. And the Bears that went there were singing their heart out. Just great. What an occasion. Brilliant. What would you give to get more occasions like that and good results like that? It was just great. Just great. Next Thursday, please.
That was a great performance that night, Fox, wasn't it? Team performance. Oh, I don't like when he goes quiet.
It was a bit quiet again.
I'm back. I was away doing something there. I thought he would have picked out the Villarreal away game, mate, myself personally, if it was any of the European games. We didn't know how strong Villarreal were. And to go down twice and fight back to a 2-2 draw, I thought that was one of our best performances in Europe. I thought the UEFA game that he picked out, we had a lot of luck in that game. They had plenty of chances. We defended heroically. I thought that was probably the best game that Goldson and Morrow played together. But I thought the Villarreal result away from home, them being an unknown quantity, us with a team put together within a couple of months, I thought that was one of our best European performances, mate.
That's a really good point, Fox.
I don't know, I've got a caller coming in here.
Here we go. Let me see who the caller is.
The best team the Goldson and Morrow played. Hello, caller. Could you turn the show off?
Try that again.
Turn the show off.
Yeah.
In the background, just
in the background.
I'll turn it off, you mean?
Yeah. How you doing? All right, mate?
Yeah, sound.
Yeah. What we calling you, mate?
Trout from Somerset.
Trev?
Trout, like the fish.
Oh, Trout.
Yeah.
All right, Trout. That's a good one. Something fishy about this call, Fox.
No, straight up on Instagram, man.
How are you doing, mate? Tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us about your Rangers history and how did you find Rangers Radio?
I watch it every night.
All right, okay. Once the medication kicks in, mate, you'll be fine.
It's fucking brilliant, honestly. I first got to watch you
don't get me wrong now, I'm a Brummy, obviously, I hope you can tell. I watched Celtic in the pre-season game, play down St Andrews, after the pub bombings in 74, right? And they brought about 10,000 down, and all they sung was songs about the IRA and killing fucking Birmingham people.
You've got to watch your language, mate.
Watch your language, mate. There's kids listening here, but carry on.
Am I on live then?
Yeah, you're on live, mate.
Oh, shit, sorry. I thought you...
Watch your language. Carry on, mate. Carry on, Trout.
Sorry. So from that day on, I've hated them ever since. And I went to Rangers. And I went to Villa Park in 75 when they just wrecked the joint. And I've been...
I'm just a wee bit merry, mate. I wouldn't say we wrecked the joint, you know.
Well, we had a good party then.
Yeah, we had a party. Yeah.
And there was quite a few Birmingham fans in amongst the Rangers fans as well, enjoying it. I've worked up in Glasgow, Greenock, lots up in time Scotland, and I was up there when they pushed us down to the fucking bottom of the league, and I went to all the first away games, the first few home games on the Greenock bus, and I just, well, you can't tell me about Celtic. All
right.
What do you reckon?
What's on your mind, mate?
I've just read something on the internet about them moaning, and that Lawler bloke saying about them they might turn down having their tickets. Well, don't give them any tickets. That's my motto. Don't let me down.
Bridgeman. Obviously, that kicked off the night, and it was a story. But Trout's asking about what's your view on this. They're saying they don't want their tickets. Well, if they don't want them, it's easily solved, isn't it?
Yeah, I think to be honest, like this is just stories. We don't know. They've already said that if there's any safety issues, or they think there's any safety issues, they say they won't take the tickets. I agree with Trout there when he said that. My opinion is.
What about hygiene issues, Rich? What about hygiene issues?
Yes, it'll make a big difference if there are none of them there. And really and truly, I feel quite strongly about this. If what they've done to us, insofar as we've said we don't want them there, other than their 800, so it's limited, and they've done the same to us, limited, and they treated the Rangers fans like dog shit, you know, as far as I'm concerned. And they apparently at their AGM it was mentioned about crowd safety. In the last Rangers and Celtic match, there could have been some fatalities, and the first thing they said was if there's any issue or fears of crowd safety at Ibrox, and you're like, what's the go to do with Ibrox? You know, absolutely nothing to do with Ibrox.
That was pushing at their ground. That was.
I'm saying that it was underneath their big stand, so there's nothing to do with us. But somehow or other they managed to wheedle it in there about the Rangers, and if they have got any fears at all, let's go and see the authorities. Rangers should go to the authorities if they say they don't want the tickets, and say to the authorities, we don't want to give them any tickets anyway. They've got some fears about Ibrox, and they have to get that worked out in their head. And as of now, until such times as they come back and ask for the tickets, right? They need to come and ask for the tickets. And other than that, we'll just because we put fans of other teams go in these same areas, and fans of other teams still come to Ibrox and still go away from Ibrox. No major problems at all.
Most of the European teams have been there and took more than most of the Scottish teams do.
I think, Trout, I have to say, I think they'll be walking straight into a trap, maybe set by themselves, truth be told. But if they turn around and try to say we don't want any tickets, then they are probably good chance that they'll never get any tickets for Ibrox again. Good chance of that.
Good.
What's your view what Trout is a spectacle, the game without opposition fans there?
No, but they started giving us less tickets, didn't they? When we used to have, we've been giving them the whole end for years, and they've only give us that corner, ain't they?
I think they've gave us the same amount of tickets, mate. It's just the actual where we've been put compared to they get decent seats and we get restricted view. Fox, you were there a couple of years ago and you said the view was terrible, eh?
Yeah, but
it
I know what you're saying about. It's good to have them both there, but I don't like seeing their flags flying at Ibrox. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
I don't disagree with that sentiment, but Fox, what were you saying about the view you had when you were at Parkhead?
It wasn't just the view, mate. The view was reasonable, but the way you get treated, the way we get treated before we went into the ground, I didn't like at all. And I said I would never go back after that, and I mean that, I wouldn't go back to Parkhead, mate. Awful the way the Rangers support were treated there. And they always make sure they put us in that same sort of corner where the cameras never pick up our support. Whereas when we give them the Broomlawn stand, mate, they get full
It's on the telly, it's all the time. That's what I'm saying.
No.
And it looks to people who don't know that took over nearly half the ground.
Yep. And
when you know and I know, they haven't. You know what I mean?
It's because of the shape of Ibrox now, but they're going to be doing it that wee corner, mate, which will also get good TV coverage. I wish there was a place we could put them that you wouldn't see them at all when the TV cameras were at Ibrox. But
put them at Parkhead.
As for the safety concern, mate, I've said before that they've only got 800 tickets or something or whatever it is. Bus them in, bus them out, and we don't need to see them before the game or after the game, and it's easily done. There's an entrance straight into where they go. They could bring the bus in, dump them off, put them straight into the turnstiles, and then get them out again as quick as anything away for the ground. I think.
To be fair,
go ahead, mate.
That's going to happen on Sunday down here because Birmingham play at Villa Park, and that's what happens there.
Yep.
You're just straight in, straight out. You don't meet. It's like going to Millwall away or West Ham away. You don't see anybody. Because the old Villa got it that well sussed. You just like, whether you come by train or coach, bang, on the bus, straight there, straight out. And I just think they're making a mountain out of a molehill, you know what I mean? And if it was up to me, if I was Rangers, I'd say, well, don't have no tickets.
They're playing to the support, mate. Anyway, we've been joined by another caller through. I cut across you. How we doing,
right.
caller?
Sorry for swearing earlier.
No, that's all right, mate. Don't worry about it, mate.
All right.
We've all done it, mate. Evening, caller.
Keep on with the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, let me guess.
Hello.
Hello there.
Do you
Are you
recognise
talking
the
to me now,
dulcet
or have I
tone?
got to go?
No, you can. Hang on, try.
Have I got to go?
Is it Mathias that's the new caller, or is there somebody else who's joined in as well?
You're the new caller, Little Blue.
Right, okay. Hi there. No, I was just, when I was listening to you talking about the whole ticket scenario and everything, what I was thinking was, does that mean that they would try to integrate with us by trying to get the tickets if we stopped giving them tickets to Ibrox?
Yeah, I think unfortunately before, when there was no Celtic fans there before, there was maybe a handful on the ground that unfortunately picked up tickets after Rangers supporters. I think the chances of them getting sold to them are very remote. Fox?
No, I don't think there'll be many. If there is, mate, they'll no be making themselves known. So I don't see. I think they'll just have them in that corner and that'll be it. Any Rangers supporter that would sell a ticket to a Celtic supporter's off his head, mate.
I don't even know if it's so much that they might try to sort of like infiltrate the sort of like the Rangers tickets line service. Do you know what I mean? I mean, although you need to have a Rangers number a lot of the time, would they not? You know, they could easily make themselves up one. Could they not?
There wouldn't be many tickets sold publicly anyway, would there? With all the season ticket holders. You know, there wouldn't be a great public sale. It might make it easier for the Bears to get the odd ticket, but I'm concerned about whether the game's going to work. I didn't think when we had that happen before, I think it was 1994, I don't think it worked. Polster? Any thoughts?
On them trying to infiltrate?
No, the game with the rival supporters being there.
Oh, just talking about. And you see two different sides. Some people like it because of the spectacle, and then there's other Rangers fans who just obviously do not want them anywhere near. But I think if they're obviously going to use the an excuse, I was going to say a bad word there, but an excuse to make up this thing about worrying about their fans and supporters, etc. They're making waves about it. I would just make a decision now and say, well, if that's how it is, we'll just have our own support there, and then it's 800 bears who wouldn't have got in, will get in, which is just the way it has to be. If that's the way they want to play it, we'd have to play it that way. But it obviously can hurt the atmosphere a bit, because you bounce off, fans bounce off each other.
Can I come in on that a minute, Oxchair?
Let Little Blue finish and then I'll bring you
right,
in.
Okay, pal, right.
On you go, Little Blue.
Sorry, I talk too much, right? But what
I
don't understand is...
There's a radio show, it's fine.
It's not a Blaze radio show now.
You and Magpie could do a special show.
Absolutely. No, what I was going to say is, what is this supposed safety issue anyway? I mean, what exactly is it meant to be? I mean, my version of what I think it is their fear of what we're going to be saying.
Frenchman.
Well, look, the safety issue came up because of the issue at the last game at Parkhead of their own supporters. I think what they're talking about is they haven't been to Ibrox yet with this 800, just the minimal 800. And because there was only 800, they're saying because there was only 800 Rangers fans at Ibrox, they had to deploy different tactics, which didn't work.
Maybe you've nipped the nail on the head there, Bruce. Maybe there was thousands and thousands and thousands of them that hadn't been at Parkhead who were only there to see the Rangers. So
well, certainly a Rangers Celtic match, you remember, they had 7,000 people to fill in. Rangers would normally get 7,000 they got at Parkhead, so they only got 800. So they had another 6,000 Celtic fans who had to get there, and they couldn't get there round the front. So I would imagine a lot of them must have come in through the Jane Field end, and that was a big crush. So I think that's what they're a bit worried about. Nothing to do with Rangers at all, but just the access to it, because the Rangers fans were shabbily treated, dreadfully treated all the time anyway. But I think I think what's a big danger here is that they've started making a bit of a song and dance about it. We'll no take the tickets and so on and so forth. And one school of thought was I read on and follow somewhere, I think, and they were saying that this might be a move by them that if they decide not to take the tickets because of fear for their fans' safety, then they could take that to the powers of be, SFA, SPFL, and they, in somehow or other, will force Rangers to give them back the Broom loan, because the Broom loan, shall we say, the procedures that were in place for the Celtic fans for the Broom loan was quite easy, because they just shuffled them back out, down through the side entrance into Ibrox there, onto Broomloan Road itself, and away they went, but down to Govan Cross and so on and so forth. That seemed quite easy, but there's only the 800 of them, so if they don't have the proper amount of, shall we say, safety procedures in place there, then it could be a bit of a problem for them. I don't know. I doubt it, because they've just wanted to shepherd them back out into Broomlawn Road and away they go. But earlier on, you were saying they're going to bring them in buses. So that might be the easiest way. But I'm just meaning that we need to watch out for some stupid things getting said, like we're feared for our fans, and we think what Rangers are doing is wrong. They started this game, not allowing us to get the Broom loan, and historically it was always safe, and blah blah blah, all that nonsense, and try to get the authorities to force Rangers to change their mind again. Sorry, guys.
How we doing? I think we've been joined by Rudy Bear. Evening, Rudy.
Hi, Rudy boy.
How we doing? Hi, Bridgeman.
Hi, pal.
Ulster, Little Blue, Fox.
Hi, Rudy.
Hi, guys.
Hello there, darling.
Hello, pal.
Oh, you know what else you can be called that, Rudy? Eh?
I tell you what, it's the only bit of class I've heard on here tonight. Oh, classy. She's classy. You're talking about the Tims coming to Ibrox. Do you know, I couldn't care less. If they keep their particular odour that they've got to the east end of the city, I couldn't care less. I've never seen another single one of them at Ibrox again. You know, people talk about whether it affects the atmosphere. Yeah, it probably does a wee bit, you know, but let's be honest about it. If you get 50,000 bears there, is it going to make much of a difference? You know, the bears will create the atmosphere. So for me, I couldn't care less. I mean, this is them at it again already, playing the victim. It's what they do best. You know, where I feared them for
years of practice, Rudy. Years of practice.
It's garbage, isn't it, Ox? It's the usual stuff. Let's chuck something out into the press. All our pals in the press will run with it. You know, something that makes absolutely no sense. They weren't really bothered about safety issues, were they, when last season they stoked the players' coach, you know, halfway down that, you know, Celtic way, and had them walking to the stadium, the sectarian vile abuse that they had to walk through. They weren't bothered about safety then, were they? You know, so it's the usual stuff. It's the victim thing. You know, the victim.
Would you think they're trying to get the press to talk about other subjects where there's a major lump under the carpet?
It's a huge lump as well, apparently. You could be right there, Oxley. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. You know, manufacturing a grievance, you know, so they can keep eyes and tongues away from something else.
Well, I would never think of doing anything like that in the real world.
Well, you know, so they've got a huge carpet there with a huge brush, you know, and if truth be told, you know, and if the rumours are true, there's a lawyer sitting there with about 100 people. So we'll see where that goes in the next few months. But, well, it's what they do best, isn't it? Deflect and deny, you know, and play the victim. That's
talking about deflect and deny. We've reached that time of the evening. Get yourself to mute, and Fox is going to spin us a tune.
Great
right
tune,
with that?
Foxy. Great tune.
A great melody, you mean?
Absolutely. Oh,
Medley, should I say melody? Medley.
Love
Smashing.
it.
Do you like that little blow, did you?
Oh, I loved it. I was dancing.
What about yourself, Big Ulster?
That'll be me on Saturday.
Yeah, just might be, big man. Might be. What, sorry, Rudy, you were on a wee bit here. Making some points there. You might come back in, mate.
No, not really. I just more or less said what I had to say, Ox. To be honest, you know, it's the usual deny and deflect for them. You know, create a game, let's chuck it out there to our pals in the press and let's, you know, push something, turn people's eyes away from what they really should be looking at, and the press fall for it every single time. And I would imagine it's because the majority of the press don't want to look at what they really should be looking at and reporting on, you know. So here we go. Here's another AGM for them, another absolute, you know, garbage point that they've made, you know. So for me, I'd rather not see any of them at Ibrox at all, to be honest with you. You know, the atmosphere thing doesn't bother me in the slightest. There's 50-odd thousand bears there that'll make an atmosphere, in my opinion. So you certainly don't need them for that, Ox, you know.
I've got a slightly different view. I don't think the game works as expected. Been there before. I don't know if you were there, mate.
I was. I think we're in different times now as well, though, Ox, you know. I think the atmosphere that we've seen generated at Ibrox, you know, and the big European nights and the games against them and stuff like that, I think we're merely capable of doing that nowadays, you know. I get where you're coming from, you know, about opposing fans. I don't really have a problem with any other opposing fans, you know, as much as I dislike, you know, the spin burners and the sheep and stuff like that. I don't really have any problem with them coming, you know what I mean, as long as they don't act like idiots when they're in Ibrox, you know. But that lot couldn't care less. No, if they want to play the victim, let's give them every excuse to do it and just keep them away from the place altogether.
I can't agree with you more. Rudy. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got a slightly different view. I mean, we're all of a certain vintage, obviously. There's myself, Ulster, and Little Blue a bit younger than the rest of these, but
what was that? I'm going to be slapping you next time I see you.
You tell them.
I love it. I love it.
But I think when we were young, we would all wanted to go to Parkgate. Come on, let's be honest.
Oh, I mean, like us all, we all had many. I had some cracking days there, you know. I had a great time, you know. But it's changed. Things have changed now, Ox. You know, we don't live in the same times way back when we used to. You know, it's venomous now. You know, the hatred is absolutely venomous now. You know, I never ever felt that before. You know, I
was going to say it's a different level of hatred compared to like years ago. I mean, when I was going to football games, and you know, like back in 1982, that's when I first started to go into games. I was like 5 years old. And it was like a completely different level of hatred. I mean, you had that 90 minutes of hatred and, you know, it was all fun and banter or whatever. Well, it wasn't, but you know what I mean. Compared to now, it's like proper nasty, vile hatred.
Yeah, I agree.
I must have lived in a different city for you when I was growing up. But we'll see what it takes. It'll be interesting. I agree with your sentiment about the trying to do, Rudy. I think you're spot on with that, mate.
Yeah, 100%. You can almost write the story every time, can't you, Ox? You know, you know what they're up to. You know what it's truly all about. You know, the underlying story that they're trying to sweep under that massive carpet that they've got. You know, and try and get it away from everybody. You know, so you can, as I say, you can almost predict it's going to happen, and it happens on a regular basis. And this is just another case of that for me, Ox.
It's your AGM next Tuesday,
Thursday. Next Wednesday. It's the next Wednesday, I think. 27th, is it? I think the 27th. I can confirm that. Just hold on.
That's next Tuesday, mate. Next Tuesday.
For God Almighty's sake, where are you, Alec Brown? Here you are.
Tuesday.
27th of November. Next Tuesday. There you go. Well done, Ox.
I'll keep you right, Bridge. No, so you don't turn up a day late.
Oh, I'll be there. All right. Don't you worry about that.
All right.
I'll be causing mayhem and madness.
Would you think? Yeah, we can hear you, Little Blue.
All right, I've thought I put it on mute. Sorry.
No, you're all right. We can hear you.
Sorry
What
about
do you
that.
think? What do you think will be the main topic of conversation at our AGM? Big Ulster, and then Little Blue.
Oh, main topic, I don't know. Probably, I don't know if they can speak too much about the whole retail situation. I'd like to know more about that. I know they'll be under contract and they'll have to be careful, obviously, etc. But I would like to know a wee bit more of where we're going and how we're going to try and resolve this. That would be my main point. I think
Question, mate.
is looking after itself.
Will be yourself, Little Blue. What do you think the board will get asked?
I was thinking I was going to be more about, like the tops and sort of like the financial state of the club itself. Like what our turnover is, etc., etc. How much we might be getting sort of like next season for January for the players and things like that.
For the kitty, for the transfer kitty to support the manager. Yeah. Fair comment. Yeah. What about you? Obviously, it's always the same with you, Rudy. It's a catering.
Right. No, I think it's going to be January. I think we're going to want to know, a lot of the players are going to want to know in January what the situation is as far as finance goes for new players. We have to keep improving the squad, as we talked about the other night, Ox, So that's going to be a big question, and hopefully there's funds going to be made available. I think the accounts just been released not that long ago there, sort of 14 million loss, and people were some people were kind of up in arms about it a wee bit, but there was lots of things that wasn't took into account with that. It only took us up to June of this year. You've got the Europa League money still to come in. You've still got the money for the jerseys and all this stuff and the merchandise. So there's plenty of season ticket. I don't even think the season ticket money was included in that either. So there's lots, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration as far as that's concerned. But I would imagine there will be a couple of questions about that as well. I think some of the players will want to know what the situation is with that, whether it's sustainable, which I think it is. I don't see it being a huge problem. But I would imagine that'll be one of the questions that'll get asked.
Well, fair comment. What about yourself, Fox? Of course, you'll be there, suited and booted. Anybody that's looking for Fox, he'll be the guy with the white safaris. Jack on.
I would like to know when we'll run on an even keel, mate. I would like to know how long it will take the club to get back where it's self-sufficient, no depending on loans. And that would be a good question I would like to hear at the AGM, mate.
You're probably always too sensible. Bridge?
Yeah, I think the very first thing they'll be asking is what the financial situation is after the share issue, how successful it was. I think there'd be. Obviously we'll get that from. That's the first thing, probably the first thing they'll report on.
Was it share issues or rights issues? Is a difference?
I think share issue. I think it was a share issue.
Right,
so,
okay.
But it was one of these internal, mostly internal ones. So they were redistribution of certain shares that the club made available. So and they're paying off the guys of the loans. So I don't know how much loans they paid off. I don't know if they've still got a deficit there. So somewhere along the line, I dare say, we're going to hear that. And obviously, how much money is for this year running, this year running. Okay, we ended up with 14 million owed. So was that going to be paid off? Or is that part of the share issue? And so on and so forth. How are we going to get that absorbed? And is there enough money coming in? Certainly from a fan perspective, there'll be. They've got no complaints. There's tons and tons of money coming in from the fans, from the tickets and so on and so forth. But there's a lot of work getting done around about Ibrox and at Auchenhowie. And of course we had the nightmare scenario with Mr. Kashina that they had to get clear that out, and some of those players as well that they had to move on. So they're still paying in all probability for that, and that's included. So somewhere along the line, I would imagine maybe in 2 seasons' time, that'll all be levelled out. But let's hope that the ship sales will be a biggie for them. When are we going to get, legally speaking, when are we going to run our own business from a ship perspective? And that might be next year. But as far as I know, the store is in the process of being done up in St Enos Square, and stock's supposed to be coming in there. I believe that the Oxford was telling us, I think it's next February, the contract for the megastore at Ibrox gets taken away, that finishes. So Sports Direct will not have any access there. So I can't see anything other than good in the horizon, providing it all works out for us, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of things I think we'll talk about. That's what I want to hear about as well, you know.
That'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I think it'll be a positive EGM, if I'm being honest. Obviously, particularly if we get a result on Saturday, and it keeps us rolling, Fox.
Sorry, I missed that. I was typing in to somebody on the PM there, pal. What was it?
All right, okay. What was her name? What I'm saying is, I think it'll be a positive EGM. Stephen Gerrard, things are slowly getting on their feet, even financially when you look at the accounts. Slowly getting there with the merchandise, etc.
That'll be his first AGM, and I'll be interesting to see the sort of questions he gets asked, because the manager is always asked questions on the footballing side, and it'll be nice to see him kind of face to face, no so far away as usual, you know.
You can't sit much closer to him.
Aye, he's in the front, mate. I'm up halfway up the stand, you know.
Alright, okay.
I might go up and steal his name tag at the end of it, but don't tell him, Dave.
Alright, okay, I'll not tell him. Rudy, do you see it? How's things going for you, mate? Is it positive, or is it smoke and mirrors? What's your gut?
I'm positive about the whole situation right now. You know, as I mentioned there about the 14 million loss, you could look at that, Ox, you know, and you could sort of, you maybe be a wee bit anxious about it, but there's plenty of factors to take into consideration as far as off the field's gone. You know, as I said, you've still got the Europa League money to come in, you know, you've got the money for the merchandise and all that kind of stuff to come in, you know, that wasn't taken into account. And for me, they wouldn't be forking out the amount of money that they're forking out to day up Ibrox, to day up Auchenhowie, if that was a problem. So I don't even worry about that. That's not a problem. They look like they've got their act together off the park to me. I know the retail thing's a wee bit of a problem just now, but I'm absolutely convinced that that's going to sort itself out at some point. You know, hopefully sooner rather than later. You know, we need to, as Bridgeman says, get back to running our own business as far as the merchandise goes. On the part for me, if you'd have said to me at the beginning of the beginning of the season that we'd be sitting on the verge of qualifying for the last 32 of the Europa League, I'd have sent you some meds down, mate, to be honest with you, because there's no way I thought that would have happened. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy where we're sitting in the league at the moment. We're only 2 points behind the leaders. We've got a game in hand on Hearts. I know we've had some disappointment as far as the League Cup goes. That was a real big disappointment, because we had everything in our favour that day to beat them. We were the better team. We should have beat the Sheep in the semi-final. We didn't. But Stephen Gerrard says there's going to be bumps along the way, and there will be. He's a young manager, first big job, huge club, massive expectation. And he's learning on the job. You know, the guy, he's learning on the job, but he's doing a good job, in my opinion. I think between him and Mark Allen, we'll see some quality coming in January, hopefully, and then we move on to the summer and we'll see what happens then. And I think it was Fox was saying the other night, keep on their coattails till we get to January and see what happens in the transfer window in January. So I'm very positive. Very positive just now, because for me, I know it'd be nice to lift a bit of silverware as far as cups are concerned, and it's always great to have for the Bears to have a day at Hampden. But the one that really matters to me and every other Bear on the planet is that 55th. That's the one that really matters to us, Ox. That's the one we want. More than anything else, that's the one we want. And we're heading in the right direction, in my opinion. You know, I don't think the progress we've made since the beginning of the season, certainly since June,
don't mention progress, Rudy.
Certainly since he took over in June, if people were expecting us to skyrocket to success, then I think they were obviously looking in the wrong direction, in my opinion. It's going to take a bit of time, to build up the squad to the size of squad and the quality of squad more than anything else that we're going to need. and that takes a bit of time. But yeah, very positive Ox about everything.
Big Ulster, you've always said this will be the worst squad that Steven Gerrard will have.
Yep, I believe that. Because it was such a big rebuilding job, and there's only so much you can do. And you know what I mean? But it'll get better. And I do believe in the board. I know there's some rocky moments we get a bit agitated at times due to probably the contracts, and there's only so much they can come out with, etc. So, but I think the Bears will be happy with what they hear of the AGM. I'm happy with how the club's going. I'm happy with who's in charge of the football side of it now. So the manager, I believe in him. I think we're doing everything right with scouting, etc. So we're really starting to get ourselves sorted in a way that hopefully in the next few years, you know, if it may be 4, 5, 6 years as these young players develop, you won't have to keep spending so much millions out. Hopefully we'll have our own talent coming in. I think there's positive vibes of the club. I'm pretty excited for the future. But we definitely need, I think, just a bit more experience. Not the experience that we've bought in the past, the last couple of years, because I know we have had it, like Bruno Alves and Nico Cranchard, Joey Barton. And I don't get that, you know, you don't get experience just for the sake of it. You get it for the reasons. You get the right players in to do the job, you know. But I think Stevie G.
You may be saying somebody who understands what Rangers is about, who's got Rangers in his heart. Is that what you're telling me?
And has the ability.
And has the ability. That's the most important thing, yeah, has the ability. First 45 minutes, I think the man could be an important player for us if he can keep fit. He looked as if he'd organised it. Hard to judge, 10 men, etc. But we haven't seen anybody else barking and organising like that since Davy Weir, maybe. If that's the man you're intimating, is it the same man?
Yes.
Yes, I thought it might be. Little Blue, how are you feeling about the club and how we're going on and off the field? Are you feeling positive?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I like where it's going at the moment on the field. But saying that, after this 2-week break, we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like after the last break that we had, there was times when we were playing really poorly and went quite downhill, and then that last game there we shot back up again, and I'm really hoping that come Saturday it's the same situation. You know, that we carry on the momentum off the field.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously on the field and we get results, that's the thing that helps drive us off the field, Bridgeman, eh?
Yeah.
Bridge?
Sorry, pal. Sorry. I got caught with his bloody headphones again. Sorry, missed that one.
Obviously, for getting results on the park, that drives everything off the park, doesn't it?
Oh yes, it makes
sales, etc.
Yeah.
You know,
of course, it makes things like the at the present moment among the Rangers fans. There's a fervour for everything Rangers. There's a desperation for the fans to show and feel that they're helping the club as much as possible, and they're doing everything they can to make things great again for Rangers as quickly as possible. They're obviously believing in Gerrard, and Gerrard's doing wonders for us, in my opinion, and most fans will feel the same. Obviously, there's question marks when he makes a bad decision about, shall we say, substitutions or bad selection, bad shape, that kind of thing. Maybe people start to doubt it for a second when you can't blame fans for that. We've been through a lot. But really and truly, I think everybody's very happy with what's going on, and that marches on greatly. The desperation part, the biggest desperation part now is we're heading for the big showdown at Ibrox against the enemy from across the city, and if we can win that game, or when we win that game, should I say, the Bears will be extremely over the moon, to say the least, over the moon. That's another monkey off our back, shall we say. And Steven Gerrard becomes an even bigger hero, and we march on again. We need to get the strip sorted, but the Bears are desperate to be buying their kids strips at Christmas time. We need to be able to do that with no fear that every penny we spend, the courts are going to take it off us. We want to do it right, give the club the money and make sure the club get the money to do what they need to do. That's all we're wanting really now.
Yeah, fair comment. With yourself, Fox, you're a man that's positive by nature, but are we getting it right for you?
We're getting there slowly but surely. What the fans want to see is an increase in the quality on the park. I hope the board get it right in the January transfer window. I'm not expecting any more than maybe possibly 2 signings. I think most of our business will be done next summer again, where we'll see another shift out of players and better quality brought back in. And that's the way I want to see it. It's going to be gradual to build up in quality, but I don't want to go all in January, bringing in 4 or 5 players of medium quality. I'd rather have myself 1 quality player than 4 kind of average players. So quality means a lot to me, and I think that if the board get it right, maybe just one addition or 2 additions in January. Maybe some players going out. I don't know who that might be, but there might be a couple going out the door in January. And hopefully we can do enough this season. We may be good enough to win the title. We may be good enough to win the Scottish Cup. But I think, in all seriousness,
I don't know who's doing the flitting, but if you're on doing the flitting, can you go on mute, please? Carry on, Fox.
And I hope to see an injection of quality in the summer. We don't need that many players, but just quality players that can do more on the ball than we have at the present time.
You're the manager. You're Mark Allen, Rudy Bear. I'm telling you, you've got budget for 2 players. What positions are you going for, mate?
For me, I think we've got to look at the forward, so I think we need to bring in another forward. I think we've got to sell into a wee bit of a fankle as far as the semi-final of the League Cup went, not having either available. So I think that's got to be looked at, because we don't want to be in that position again. So I'd certainly look at bringing another forward and a creative midfield player. And we've all said that, I think, at different times on Rangers Radio, a creative midfielder, an attacking creative midfielder that can open these stubborn defences up for us, and make it so much more easier to break these teams down if we had a guy like that in the midfield. Because I don't really think we've got that at the moment. As much as I like Arfield and I like Ajaria and boys like that, I like Kent's pace, and Candace is a really hard worker. I think we could be doing with a Stephen Davis type player, somebody that can create something out of nothing, make that final pass. So that's the kind of player I'd be looking for in January. Hard to come by, I know, but one of them and another forward.
Over yourself. On you go, little boy, on you go.
No, sorry, I was just going to say I'm not so much worried about the defence side of things, but definitely the creative midfielder we definitely really do need to be looking at, and definitely maybe another forward, because at the moment, really, as it stands, we're just really sort of like looking at Morelos to be the one that's doing all the work, and there's not really a secondary good striker that we have, and we really need somebody that can work with either work with Morelos, or when Morelos isn't on the pitch, when he's having a break or whatever, that we've got somebody that can sort of like stand in, equally do a good job for us.
Ulster, I think you might argue there's somebody at the club that could do that.
Yes, we've got people out on loan, like Doherty, etc. as well, who's playing pretty well, but it's trying to bring him back. I don't think we can bring him back. Lafferty, for me, is a good striker as well. But the problem is, for me, as forwards, is if we lose Morelos, and I know Foxy cracked up when I say that, because it's like you're going to wish the man an injury, but if that does happen, you're in big trouble for me, because I think we've seen Sadiq just doesn't have it, unfortunately. So he'd be really struggling. So I'd be like another striker and an attacking midfielder.
How do we get somebody to come in and play their quality to play as the third striker? How do we do that, big man?
Who? I don't know.
Ulster. If you've got to sign a striker and Morelos is number one, Lafferty's a backup, you got to try to get a quality player in, and he's third in the pecking order. How do we do it?
I don't know, you've trumped me.
It's a hard. If you're a decent player and you want to be playing and somebody taps you on the shoulder, you want to go to Rangers.
I know what you mean, I know what you're saying. I know, it's hard to do it, I know. But the thing is, you know, I suppose the players always have to come in with the ambition that they can go and take the position. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, but it's how the talks take place. You know, obviously there's people can leave at times, you don't see going to leave, but that can happen all the time. It'd be interesting to see how it would be done. I do agree with Rudy about the creative midfielder. And he mentioned one.
Well, we definitely need that.
Could be Stephen Davis.
Yes.
Could be. Bridgeman, what's your? You'll get the magic one, mate. You'll sign 2 centre-halves, won't you?
Certainly one. Certainly one. Nah, I've been saying it all along. I make no bones about it. The big fella, Macaulay, seems to be well thought of. And obviously, as time goes on, we'll see how if he can take his position and keep his position, then he might be able to come out with all the experience he's got, and we might benefit for that. But I certainly think we should be out looking for a left-sided, or left-footed rather, left-footed centre-back. Again, a big tall fellow looking for 6'4" or 5" for me, and balances it out a wee bit. And desperately keen to get Barisic back, because we don't have enough left-footed players in the team. We're badly out of balance. And that for me. That's what I'd certainly want one centre half, and my own personal opinion is I want a really good attacking midfielder. Stephen Davis could be that on a pro-tem basis. But I'm looking for bring maybe a youngster through to give him a chance, like young Middleton coming in, that kind of thing. But Stephen Davis would give us maybe a year or two's buffer. I don't know how much it would cost, so it might be cost prohibitive to do this. But I'd like to see him coming in and then bring a youngster through and get a real good quality youngster in to do it. Some of the boys we've got in now, like say Algeria, you know, I wouldn't think twice. I'd definitely have him in as well. If you could buy him in, don't know if you would have the money to do it. But he's going to be a really good player, I think. So that's what I would like. For me, a really good attacking centre half. A left-footed centre half for me. Balance the place up, and really good midfielder, playmaker.
All right, fair enough. I think we're all pretty close. The one that keeps making as consistent as the playmaker, Fox. Was Torrens going to be that man? Was he going to be that man?
I don't know, mate. Look, I think where you get an idea of what sort of signings you need is looking at the loan players we've already taken in loan, mate. Ajaria is there for a year, but obviously we need a long-term replacement for him. So I think that's where you're attacking midfielder, whether it be in January, whether it be in the summer. Ajaria will definitely for me go back to Liverpool. And on the left-hand side we've got Ryan Kent. I don't think he was expecting Middleton to come to the fore just as quick as he has done. And Jamie Murphy been injured for most of the season. I don't know if he's going to expect Jamie back and he's going to be good enough for next season. I would be looking at the two positions, mate. Although Middleton's come on, he's still a young boy yet. I think the playmaker and probably the left-hand side of the park, mate. If it's on the long term, I think that's what he's looking at, mate. Loans, as I say, tell you the sort of positions where he's no found players available to bring in there for his permanent signings, and that's roughly the positions he'll try to fill long term. Did I gab on too much here?
I fell asleep. Sorry about that. The boys that come in on loan, Fox, you mentioned briefly there, Worrell, obviously Koulibaly, Algeria. Who else we've got?
Kent.
Sadiq.
And Sadiq, mate,
Right,
who didn't
five,
work
obviously.
out.
Sadiq's no work to it. So the four that's played regulars, the other four. How are you rating their performances? Who are the piece, mate? I mean, for me, Kent started slow, then had a bit of form, and then he sort of dipped a wee bit in the back end. But who are the pieces maybe been a success? Koulibaly was excellent at the start, got the injury, and he's been poor since, in my opinion. Algeria's been pretty consistent, shows glimpses of being a real good player. And Worrell, well, I've got my doubts on him, mate. I really don't know. I've seen 10 and 12 million mentioned Rudy. I don't see it myself.
No for me. When he came out with that wee statement, a couple of weeks back there, talking about going back to Nottingham Forest, I'm quite happy with that. Not because he made this, I riled some of the Bears up. Didn't bother me in the slightest. I'm just happy to know that he is going. His plan is to go back to Nottingham Forest because he's never a 10, 12 million pound player. Maybe down there he is, simply because of the amount of crazy money that gets spent on players. But it's not a reflection of his talent, in my opinion, and I don't think he's what we need. He's certainly not what we need. So that's all right. You can go back. Quite happy with that. As far as the Jaria goes, I think he got, get a 6 million, 6-year contract or something like that. I think I remember reading that somewhere. An extension, keeps him at Liverpool for 6 years or something. That's maybe Liverpool's done that way, and I maybe sell them at some point in the future. But I definitely think there's a player there. He's a good big player, and I think he would get better if if we could get him on another season loan, possibly after this season. Maybe we could talk Liverpool into letting us have him for another season. I like Kent. I really like Kent, so I'd be more than happy if Kent stayed, It started slowly, as you say. I found a bit of form, kind of tailed off a wee bit, but then he wasn't the only one. Most of the players I felt in the team, apart from one or two, tailed off a wee bit as far as, form went. I think Sadiq's going to go back. I just sent Sadiq back in January. I just say to Roma, look, it's an absolute waste of time having this boy here. We don't need him. He's done nothing. He's gave us nothing. You might as well have him back, So I think in general, the ones that's really stood out for me, or the ones that's worked for me, has been Kent and Ajaria. Definitely. That's the I would certainly look at maybe either getting them on another loan for another season or having a wee talk to Liverpool just to see what kind of money they would be looking at, and maybe we could go back and speak to them properly again in the summer. I think Steven Gerrard said that a while back. He was looking at trying to make some of the loan players long term. So he's obviously thinking about him and Mark Allen at the moment,
Rudy, that young boy Kent and Nigeria have certainly had a big impact on the Rangers. The Rangers fans love the two of them, the way they play, and going from the start, they looked no bad, and then they faded a wee bit, and then they came back in again, and they're sort of taking turns each of being star players for us, the way we've been playing. So I think both of them are good.
I'm disappointed in Bridge. Koulibaly, because we were all absolutely raving about Koulibaly before the injury. We were saying, we should be going to speak to Onji just now, find out what the story is, how much they're looking for. Well, maybe we're seeing in Koulibaly now what Onji think about him. Good player, but just not consistent enough. Because I think, like Ox has said there, I think he's been very poor since the injury. Up until that point, I thought he was excellent, really liked him. But since the injury, he's been poor. So maybe he's got an inconsistency problem, Maybe that's what they think as well.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's... I was saying last night to Oxter as well, my thoughts are there's a bit of match fitness he's lost out in somewhere along the line. His timing's not right. That's what I see, because he was, when he's first 7 games for us, he was absolute dynamite. And what was they calling him, a destroyer or something like that, So somewhere along the line, he's lost his, I see some little blues saying he's lost his mojo. That might be true. How he gets his mojo back is up to the coaching staff. He might be required to drop out for 3 or 4 games and get playing maybe a youth team or something like that, just to bring him back into line again. Because I think he was a great player for us, And I believe that he was the one, out of all the loans, he was the one that had an option to buy. And at that time, obviously, I think most of us would have said, let's buy him. But what you're saying there is probably true. We're maybe seeing now, if he drops a bit of form at all, he can't quite pick it up again. It might take him a long time to pick up, I don't know. But we'll see what happens, obviously. And I still think he'd be worth a punt, to be honest. But obviously our manager has to be the one to pick him on that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. Fox, will be yourself before we go to Big Ulster.
What on, Paul?
The loans that we've had.
Oh, the loans. Look, see the boy Sadiq. I think we're all forgetting we've got a young boy at the same age as Sadiq. We took a chance on him as being the third striker, didn't work out. But behind the scenes at Okinawa, Zach Rudden is very highly thought of, mate. He's at loan at Falkirk, the new, and I think they've put him out for a half. I think his loan's up in January. I think we'll see him coming back in as the third striker, mate. I don't think we're going to bring in. I think your point about what decent striker is going to sit behind Alfredo, mate, I can't see that either. I think Zach Rudden will return to Ibrox and become our third striker on that point. Anything else?
I'm having problems with my soufflés, mate.
Right. Don't use Teflon. I tell you about that documentary I seen.
What you two like? Shockers. Shockers. But that's a good point Foxy brought up there regarding young Zach Rudden. He's out alone in Falkirk. I don't know how he's playing at Falkirk, to be honest, Foxy, but I don't think they're doing too well in the first division or the championship. I think they're down near the bottom. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, mate.
So I'm not. It's not a great advert for Zach Rudden. He should be a star down there. If at the level they're at, he should be starring for them. I don't know if he's scoring a lot of goals, so forgive me. I just don't know. But if he comes back, and we saw him just before he went away, my goodness, he was only on the pitch, but 20 seconds or 30 seconds, scored a bloody goal, great stuff, Good stuff. Nice, big tall boy, but he'd do well. Getting maybe a couple of games in beside Morelos might just do him the world of good, to be honest.
I also think you get more out of Zach Rudden than we have out of Sadiq as well, Bridgeman,
Yeah, there's something no right about Sadiq.
Get more out of me.
Yeah.
There's something no right about him. There's just something no right about him.
Ulster.
I'm telling you.
What was that, Ulster?
He's like a baby gazelle.
Get more out of me.
On you go, little blue.
So he's like a baby gazelle. His legs are like all over the place.
Yeah.
Sadiq I'm talking about. He's a very strange little character, isn't he?
In the Aberdeen game, I obviously had the chance to be a hero, and he showed glimpses. He worked hard and he had a bit of pace, but his game management was poor. Poor. Offside loads and loads of times, mate. Put the momentum against us. It was very frustrating.
Well, the point where you're a striker, he gets into the box, he's got the chance to put the ball into the back of the net and decides to go down. I mean, I couldn't believe that, Ox. I don't know what he was thinking about. I really don't know what he was thinking. Because any striker worth their salt would have took that chance, Especially in such a huge game, a semi-final in the League Cup. Yeah, I don't know what the boy was thinking of. I just don't think his heart's in it, or his head for that matter either, really, to be honest.
I don't think he's a top quality youngster, let's put it that way. I don't know if, is it Roma he came from, isn't it? I don't know what Roma's seeing him, to be honest. To play even playing in Italian football, he would struggle. My goodness gracious, he's struggling here.
Had him out in Holland on loan, didn't he? I think it was at Heracles he was at, or wherever. He was out in Holland anyway, on loan last season. So maybe they're trying to punt him round about Europe.
Well, I think you're probably right there. They're probably trying to move him on as quickly as possible, giving him a chance to shine. Rangers have given him a couple of chances, and he's just each time he's not quite done it. Obviously, it's difficult. I don't know what he's doing when he's playing for the youth teams. If he's coming on in the development squad or whatever, if he's getting a game there, and is he doing it? And is he scoring a lot of goals or whatever? You know.
Yeah, he played against Motherwell. They took him off at half time. And young Atakai went on at half time and scored 3 goals in the second half.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
that wee Atakai's not a bad player. I mean, we Ibrox loyal have been on about him for quite a long time, you know, for the last 2 years. Saying that. But then again, we just brought Atakai on against, was it Motherwell? Yeah. It was only on 90 seconds or something like a leathered. You know, it's a bloody sin, you know.
Interesting to see how it pans out with there. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that we're talking about tweaks, Ulster, is really pleasing this part where we need to get rid of 8 players and bring in 8, you know.
Well, this is it. I think we can see enough positives in our team now, you know, because I know in past windows during the seasons we've had a lot of issues with a lot of players, but it's not just as much now. I think there's a bit of experience, you know, needed, and they'll gain it, you know, obviously from being in Europe, etc. And they'll have got some cracking results, like the Villarreal away going 1-0 down. A big question was asked of them, and you know, very early on in that game, and we got ourselves a well-deserved draw. So they've shown us in the Rapid, etc. So they've shown us in games that there is a team there. It's just a matter for me of adding a wee bit, especially these games away from home when defences like to sit in, and we struggle to break them down. I think that's why most of us are looking for that, maybe a centre attack midfielder, someone who can do something a wee bit different. Just see that pass that maybe we don't have at the minute, that quality. They can see that killer pass to finish these teams and get that first goal. I think that's why we're only looking for minor tweaks, which is good and it's encouraging. And that's, as you know, hopefully that's how it goes on from now on, because we don't want to be doing all this, turn everything up and managers going and everybody having to leave and starting again another project. You know, we don't want that and we don't need it and we don't have the funds to do it. So it's, thank goodness, you know, we're finally in a position where we are just looking at these 1 or 2 players to hopefully kick us on for the rest of the season.
Ulster, I was just saying that about asking the question about Zach Rudden, and Blue Shadows just said in there, Foxy was on about bringing Rudden in, a good young player, and I was questioning whether in fact he'd done enough because Falkirk are pretty poor, and Blue Shadows saying he's averaging somewhere like a goal every 2 games. That's not too bad considering where Falkirk are, you know. So he must be playing quite well.
I think it's 7 appearances, 3 goals.
There you go then. So that's average, not too bad. So he might well walk right into our team. And I reckon he gets a couple of games with the likes of Morelos. Morelos is only a young boy too, for goodness sake. But I'm sure Morelos is experienced, you know, and I'll be able to help him to bring it on. My goodness, it'd be nice to see us getting some, you know. Some really good players in our team. Wow, just think if we can get Stephen Davis. Ulster, is Davis going to come to us?
I know he wants to. You can see it. You know, the fans have asked him before on videos and etc. when he's over, and he's, you know, there's no doubt about it. He'd want to come to Rangers, but that's all about Southampton and that contract and what way they could work it. I don't know if they would loan him in, take a bit of his wages for, say, 6 months till it comes near the time, and then get him hopefully on a free or something, you know.
How long's he got contract? How long's he got left?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's that long, to be honest.
He finishes in June.
Does he? Right. Right. He's got to be June.
Well, you know, Ulster, I meant to say to you, I was speaking to a couple of your countrymen in the Ibrox bar in Tenerife. They're from the Tyrone area, Tyrone, they said. And they both said to us, well, one of them in particular said, put your money on it now. Stephen Davis will be there in January. There you go. That's what that boy said.
I know that's the rumour. It's a big rumour over here. The Belfast Telegraph, etc., have went with it. You know, they're saying that he's wanting to move, and the Rangers are interested. You know, but I don't want to get too excited. But I still think he's a cracking player. Like I watch him regularly, obviously with the international breaks. I know we all hate them, but I obviously watch Northern Ireland, and he's still top drawer player. There's no doubt in my mind, that he could come and do a job for us in Scotland.
Do you think there'd be any question about some sort of financial arrangement with Rangers? Do you think they'll just let him go? Because he's been with them a while, he's been a good servant to them.
Well, that's it. You would like to think so. But it's all down to money. But I think he's been a good servant for him. He's captain the team. They're obviously now the manager places preferring other people. So but the
reason I'm saying it is that he's on a tidy salary. So they won't get that much money for him from a transfer perspective, but they could save 6 months a good salary, if you follow what I mean, if they let him go. That's all I'm thinking of. Whether Rangers could pick up and pay him something out of that salary would be okay,
See, I would like to think, Bridgman, as well, he's made his money. He's been down there for a number of seasons now. He's been on big money at Southampton. He's been a good servant to them. And if his contract's only up to June, if he's only got up to June left, Southampton would, if Stephen Davis really wanted to come to Rangers, he'd say to Southampton, is there anything we could do about this contract? And possibly Southampton would say, yeah, fine, let's just tear it up and you can go. As you say, they won't get a great amount of money for him anyway, considering the age he is, and considering his contract's up in June. As far as wages go, he's made his money. He's sorted now. He'll not have to think about money. That won't really be such a huge problem for him. And that might be a good thing, because it would have to be a fairly hefty wage cut, I would imagine, for what he's on at Southampton, coming to Rangers,
Going anywhere, by the way, Rudy, going to any club now to continue his career. I don't think he's going to get top money like he's on now. I think those days are past, or the days will be past him. Sorry, unless he ends up in like a Chinese league and they're paying massive money, I don't know. But I think comfort, for his comfort anyway. Looking, by the way, Coop's saying he's had a couple of injuries. So I don't know, I didn't know he had bad injuries, but Coop's saying that. But he was playing well the other night. No problem with his fitness there, so I dare say it'd be okay for the Rangers. Because I reckon you'll get 2 years out of him, yeah? You probably get about 2 years out of him.
I agree with you, Bridge, yeah. I think you get a couple of good seasons out of him. Yeah. Got experience, he knows what it is to play for the club. He's a Rangers supporter, and he's probably just the kind of guy we could be doing at the club. Because I've got this belief that you can't, you need some experience, really experienced players in amongst the young, hungry players, to build a proper team. You need experience in there, and he's got it in huge amounts. Stephen Davis has got it in huge amounts now, you know what I mean? So I think, honestly, really do think it'd be worthwhile trying to entice him up in January, and hopefully I really do believe we could get a couple of good seasons out of him,
Yeah, I think if we get 2 seasons out of him and 2 seasons out of Macaulay, you'll be doing very well, because that's you getting the chance to look at them and get players that fit into the team, providing they're playing well, of course. You're not going to just play them for the sake of their name. They've got to be playing well. And what I wouldn't like is to bring them in and they play for 3 weeks and then that's them knackered. We're always suspicious of that. We're wary of it.
Can I ask also, I haven't seen Stephen Davis play lately much. Does he still get about the park as much, Ulster?
Yeah, he still does. He does.
I thought when I last seen him playing with Southampton, he was playing a lot deeper than he used to play at Rangers. Does that change at Northern Ireland?
No, he does. You do see him coming into deeper at times because they've got a player, Savo. Oh, terrible name, I know, but that's it. Unfortunately, he's burdened with it. But young Savo plays in centre attack mid role as well. At times, see him drifting in to try and create the chances, and then obviously Davis sometimes does sit a wee bit further back and pings the passes over the defence, and you can see where he holds the ball up and he creates the ball, keeps the ball moving. So I've seen him in Northern Ireland as well, drifting at times in the game, but more often than not, he's obviously having to come in closer to the strikers to try and create some of the chances. And he's still head and shoulders above anybody else we have. We sort of need fresh blood to come in and sort of take over the mantle, but at the minute he's still quality, still very quality player, I really hope we get him.
You'd go and pick him up, Ulster, wouldn't you?
Yep. I am biased though, no point lying. But
No.
the ones over here, but he is.
No, you would never
But he is
know.
a good player.
You
He is a
would
good
never
player. But
know.
I'll tell you one
Ulster.
thing. I'll say one thing. I think that Worrell and he will be I don't think he's been that great for us lately, and I think Big Macaulay will come in and take that position with Goldson. I think you'll see that in the next coming weeks. I think Macaulay will start with Goldson on Saturday.
I hope it starts like that. I'm desperate to see Goldson getting a wee bit of form back, because I think that pains in his chest he was having, it was caused. Oh, the manager said it was anything to do with his previous surgery that he had. So he was just feeling some pains in the chest or something. So he was unwell as opposed to unfit. So hopefully he's over that, because he's not a bad player. Quite a smooth player, and play him alongside somebody that's got every bit as much experience as Macaulay's got, then that can only do good for him as well. Because I think he's not a bad player. He makes the odd mistake, but don't we all? But yeah, you're right about Worrell. Worrell could be, at the present moment, he'd be maybe third choice between him and Katic, of course. Sorry, pal.
I think we've seen well. But if you look at the Wilson thing, remember, when he was playing with Davy Weir, and obviously he brought him on leaps and bounds and he ended up getting a big move to Liverpool. It didn't work out for him. Eventually came back, obviously, but I would like to hopefully Gareth McCauley, if anything, his experience on the pitch can, with these players, can help bring them on, and wee mistakes that maybe do. Hopefully, he can help iron them out and make them better players.
Well, you seen him at the weekend there, Ulster, when he came on. He was talking to everybody. He was shouting. We haven't seen that for ages. From a centre back. Telling everybody where they should be, keep them, keep your positions, keep your place, and he was doing a massive amount of talking. I was really impressed with that, and that's down to experience for me. And as far as Cat and Goldson go, they don't have the amount of experience that Macaulay's got. He's got a huge amount. So I really hope he starts at the weekend. I really do. I think I'd like to see him get a full 90 minutes. And see if we can bolster that defence up a wee bit for us. I think also taking a bit of the responsibility off of Goldson's shoulders would do him the world of good. If he's got an older head beside him, bit of experience, as you said, Davy Weir and Wilson, Danny Wilson. That's a perfect example for me. We could have the same kind of partnership with Goldson and Macaulay there.
Well, in 2 years' time, when Macaulay, providing he goes well, Goldson might be the natural successor to that type of thing. He needs that time. He needs to be able to play, and he needs to play every week to prove how fit he's going to be, and so on and so forth. So maybe in 2 seasons, when Macaulay isn't able to do it, then Goldson would resume where he was two or 3 months ago there, when he looked a real quality player for me. A quick question for you, because you're an Ayrshire. What do you think of this boy Lawrence Shankland? One of the boys is asking, Davy Lindsay's saying that. What about young Lawrence Shankland from here?
He's I don't know, somebody made a good point about this boy. I think it might have been JFK a couple of weeks ago. I really like the look of this boy. I think the amount of chances that we create, but I don't know, it wouldn't cost you a lot of money, Bridgeman. I think there could be something there. But then, we brought in young, what do you call him, Nicky Thingy. He came in, I think he scored about 44 goals one season or something. And we brought him in, and he was a wee bit of a flop when we brought him in. Would that happen with Shankland?
Nicky Clark, you talking about?
Nicky Clark, Fox. I couldn't remember his name there. I think he scored about 44 goals, so he did the season before we brought him into Rangers. I don't know. I think there's more to Shankland, though. So I do. I think. But the thing is, I don't know. The thing that makes me think is that I'm surprised that nobody else has actually come in for a boy. Like say a Hibs or a Dundee or even the Sheep or somebody like that. I'm quite surprised that none of them have stepped in from. I think there was quite a hefty rumour that Aberdeen were interested in him in the summer. He's a huge bear. He's a Rangers supporter, Shankland. And maybe that's what he's waiting on. Maybe he just knocked them back and he's just waiting and hoping, that if he does well enough, Rangers will come in for him. and possibly in January, Bridge. You just never know. Maybe they'll look at him and think he's worth 100 grand.
Oh, there you go. There you go. And do you think he's worth 100 grand?
I think you'd be getting potential, Bridge. I think that's the thing. With any young player, I think you'd be getting potential. I think if you offer his club 100 grand, I think they'd bite your hand off for it, to be honest, because it's a lot of money to them. As far as buying potential goes, 100 grand isn't that much money, is it, really? I mean, you look at number 10, as you call it. Was it number 10 you used to call it?
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I think you'd be buying potential, and I think 100 grand for that kind of potential, what he could develop into with the kind of coaching he would get at Ibrox, the chances that he would get, especially on the field, the amount of chances that Rangers create during some games. I think it'd be worth 100 grand to go and have a wee chat to them in January, to be honest.
Well, when he played against us at Ibrox, he didn't shine at all, did he?
Didn't he? No.
He wasn't in the game at all, really.
No,
but there you go.
That's a good point. But that can happen to any player, Bridge, though, can't it?
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Anyway, gentlemen, what do you thoughts for tomorrow night? Bridgeman.
What can I say? What a lovely evening this evening, just chatting away there. And we're talking about great things. We're talking about the Rangers. And we're looking forward to this momentous game for us coming in Saturday. So, can I just say to other Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, please, 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 keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. Keep it going.
Can I thank Little Blue, Trout, first time caller, Bridge, Fox, Rudy Bear, Big Ulster, and everybody for taking the time to listen here at Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.